Have you ever experienced this? The day is completely done, you're lying in bed, the room is perfectly quiet, you are literally so ready to sleep, and then boom. Out of absolutely nowhere, your brain decides to replay that time you accidentally called your boss mom, like 5 years ago. Or, oh man, maybe the time you confidently waved back at someone who is actually waving at the person directly behind you. Yeah, we've all been there. Suddenly you're wide awake, staring blankly at the ceiling, while a moment you thought you had completely wiped from your memory plays out in front of you like this glowing, high-definition hologram. It's wildly frustrating, right? And even though it unites pretty much all of us, it feels incredibly isolating when it actually happens to you. So in today's Explainer, we're going to dissect the anatomy of the midnight cringe. We'll look inside the mind to figure out exactly why your brain chooses the absolute dead of night to replay your most awkward moments, and more importantly, how understanding this whole mechanism can actually help you find some peace.
So why does this happen? Seriously, why do you suddenly remember these intensely embarrassing moments at night? Think about that specific feeling when you're just staring at the ceiling, gripped by that sudden flood of late-night thoughts. I mean, you weren't dwelling on that awkward social interaction while you were making dinner, right? You definitely weren't overthinking it while you were commuting. But the very second your head hits the pillow, it's like click. A movie projector just turns on. The memory flashes right into your awareness, basically demanding your full attention. To understand why this happens, we really have to look at how our brains categorize, store, and then unexpectedly retrieve information when we're at our most vulnerable.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Part 1, the midnight cringe, and opening the archive.
Imagine your mind as this massive, incredibly complex memory archive. It's basically a vast library of every interaction, every success, and, yep, every single misstep you've ever made. A cringe moment actually happens when your brain just autonomously wanders down the aisles of this mental filing system completely on its own and randomly pulls out a file vividly labeled cringe moment. Then it aggressively highlights it for your review. It literally isolates this highly specific, incredibly embarrassing file from the thousands of other perfectly neutral or positive memories you made that day, or even that year, and pushes it right to the very front of your consciousness. Understanding this as a systematic, almost mechanical process of your brain is absolutely crucial. It's the very first step in detaching our current self-worth from that past event. Actually, your brain is just doing a little unprompted filing. Let's move on and see how this builds in Part 2, the zero distraction effect and environmental triggers.
So you might be wondering, why does this unprompted filing always seem to happen at night, rather than, say, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a random Tuesday? Well, the answer actually lies in what is not happening in your environment. During the daytime, your life is just filled with rapid-fire distractions. You've got your phone, there's constant noise, fast-paced daily tasks, work, social interactions, the whole shebang. Your brain is fully occupied processing all of this external data. But nighttime is the exact opposite. You're in a completely quiet, dark bedroom with literally zero distractions. And because there is absolutely no external input competing for your attention in that dark room, any internal thought that bubbles up suddenly feels visually stronger and deafeningly loud. Without the general noise of the day to drown it out, that single file from the memory archive just echoes loudly in the total silence of your bedroom.
And that brings us to Part 3, an evolutionary glitch and the survival response. Now, as that memory echoes, you can feel the tension start to rise. Your brain begins replaying this embarrassing scene on an endless loop, exactly like a severe video glitch. It just repeats again and again and again. And this brilliantly illustrates a three-step process. First, the embarrassing memory surfaces and begins to loop. Second, that relentless looping accidentally triggers your ancient instinctual danger detection system. And third, survival mode warning signs are officially activated. You see, in our evolutionary past, making a social mistake could literally mean being cast out of the tribe, which was a genuine life-threatening danger. So when your brain replays that super awkward handshake, it isn't just reminiscing to torture you. It's actually desperately trying to protect you. It treats a 5-year-old mispronounced word as a clear and present danger to your actual survival. But here's the catch. Instead of successfully protecting you from, a saber-toothed tiger, this false alarm just creates a massive physical buildup of anxiety right when you're just trying to go to sleep. Your thoughts become faster and way louder. You might even notice a subtle, or honestly, a not-so-subtle increase in your heartbeat. Your stress levels completely peak. Think about it. You are lying in a soft, perfectly safe bed, but your body is reacting as if you are in the absolute middle of a high-stakes, life-or-death emergency. This is the physiological toll of the midnight cringe. It transforms a totally quiet room into a high-anxiety environment simply because your brain's ancient wiring is horribly misinterpreting a totally old, completely harmless memory. Okay, deep breath.
Let's look at part 4, letting the noise pass and the calming truth.
Seriously, take a really deep breath here. Because once you understand the actual mechanics of this anxiety buildup, you hold the power to completely dismantle it. You do not have to be a hostage to this evolutionary glitch. This isn't real danger. It's really just your brain overreacting. Once you consciously realize that this is merely a glitch, a total false alarm triggered by a lack of daytime distractions and a hyperactive danger detection system, the memory instantly loses its power. You can literally envision that glowing holographic memory slowly fading away, kind of like smoke. The room becomes calm again. When you basically tell your brain, hey, thank you, but we're actually totally safe, it will finally close that cringe file, realizing the whole survival mode thing was just a big mistake.
So the absolutely crucial point is this. Your brain is just replaying old noise. That's really all it is. It's not some kind of dark prophecy of future failure. It is not an accurate reflection of your current worth. And it certainly isn't an urgent problem that you need to solve at 2 in the morning. It is so vital to recognize that these loud, stressful, fast-paced thoughts are literally nothing more than old echoes trapped in your mind's architecture. It's just static on the radio. When you correctly label it as old noise, you completely strip away its authority to keep you awake.
The absolute best thing you can do is just not fight your thoughts. Don't push back. Just let them pass. If you actively fight the memory, you actually signal to your brain that the danger is real, which only increases your heartbeat and locks you tighter into that awful survival mode. Instead, picture a soft light washing over you. Acknowledge the old noise, let it drift right on by without fighting it, and allow yourself to relax and close your eyes peacefully. So what does this all mean for tonight? Well, the next time the midnight cringe strikes, ask yourself, will you wrestle with the old noise, or will you recognize the glitch, let it fade like smoke, and finally get the rest you deserve?